Hola, Los Chads. Welcome back to another video. This one's going to be a little bit different. I've gotten a separate camera set up and I've got my screen recording. I'm getting better with the technology, Chads. Okay, I've read a book or two, read some forums. Okay, it's good to break them into sweat, Chad. But anywho, enough of about my extra chromosome. Let's get into this video. First of all, we've got a lot of recent BJJ news, so I thought I'd just give my 2 cents on it, okay? So let's head on over to the Instagrams and check out this new news that I've been discovering lately, okay? So first off, we'll get to Gable Steveson here in a little bit, but Mica Galvao made a return to competition at the IBJJF Rio Open. Okay, as we all know, the Clomid taking Chad, the vegan Chad that has excessive amounts of contractile tissue for his size, which I don't blame the fella. He made a return. Okay, he's kind of been silent since ADCC, and so he made his return. He wiped out the division, I think, at medium heavyweight. I think he did gi and no gi here. And I saw this on Instagram, and I said, why does my man have a buzz cut, and why is he saluting the camera here? Also, this seems like a very official rash guard. I don't speak Portuguese, okay? I'm not that far into Duolingo, so I decided to look at his comment in English, and so let's just go ahead and read it. Attention, gentlemen, permission to introduce myself. Third Sergeant Mica Galvao of the Brazilian Army introducing himself. So my man is now in the Army, okay? If he couldn't get any more dangerous, he is now a friggin' soldier. I mean, in America, we have the winter soldier. I'm sure in Rio, he's more like the summer soldier, the summer solstice soldier, the Brazilian brawler. Okay, he is a weapon to be had. That is scary. Presented degrees, passed medical exams, physical tests, social research, and an introductory course to military life. I didn't enter for money. I entered on a mission. Okay, I'm sure he makes really good money, especially living in Brazil from his BJJ career. He's one of the top BJJ athletes. They got that BJJ college in Brazil, so I'm sure that is going well. He also has a very successful YouTube channel. It's all in Portuguese, but I'm sure the South American audience loves it, and I'm sure it's a very good YouTube channel, but it's just hard for me to watch it because it's in a separate language. But I do watch it time to time with some subtitles on, and it's very good. He does some cool stuff, hanging with some like Brazilian celebrities and Brazilian bodybuilders and whatnot. So very chally channel. If you want to learn some Portuguese, I'd recommend go looking at that. But yeah, it's a pretty good. From now on, whenever my competitive calendar allows, I will put myself at the disposal to participate in real missions that the Army performs with excellence, whether it's supporting communities, solidarity missions, or whatever the Brazilian people need. So that's pretty cool. It seems like he's more of like a Army reserve, like he joined the reserves maybe, but I'm not 100% sure how that works in Brazil, how the Brazilian Army works, but it seems like if they're allowing him to compete and work around his competitive schedule, then he's more of like a reserve maybe, or maybe they have an athlete exemption of some sort. But anywho, pretty cool. It'd be cool if maybe he was like the Brazilian jiu-jitsu, the hand-to-hand combat experts of the Brazilian Army. I guess he would be quite qualified to teach that. But yeah, pretty friggin' scary that the Brazilian Army now has this guy as a soldier. He's turning into a modern day John Wick, modern day Bucky, but instead of America, he's from Brazil. Very cool, very cool. And he said it's not about money, but you know what it might be about is that he might get good insurance, okay? And this is good. I don't know if they have a pension over in Brazil for the Brazilian soldiers, but you know, a pension's pretty nice, you know, have a little extra income because, you know, this whole BJJ, it's not a guaranteed source of income. Maybe he's thinking in his future, thinking, hey, you know, if I join the Army now or the Army Reserves, I can get a little bit of a pension and get some good insurance because, you know, you do break a lot of bones in BJJ. And if that's the case, that is a smart move, Mica Galvao, okay? And this explains why he's kind of been gone, kind of taking a leave of absence from competition. Haven't really seen him much. It looks like this was more of like a warm up for that BJJ star show he's doing in the future. But he had me worried there for a minute that him and Amit Elor, aka probably the youngest Olympic champion in wrestling for the U.S., had broken up. They are a couple that is scary. They're going to make some scary grappling babies. Okay, the genetics are crazy. But she also took a little break from posting Sir Mica on her Instagram, and I thought I heard a rumor that maybe they had split up, and that very much upset me. But I'm glad to see that they are back together. Maybe it was a bump in the road of some sorts, but look, we got this. When I'm missing my long distance boyfriend, but then I remember I have free will, and she's making the trip atop Brazil, and it looks like they're going to make these superhuman people after all. Okay, hopefully, I mean, if she joins the U.S. Army, I think that would be a tit for tat against the Brazilian Army. Just little corny jokes here with the TikToks. You gotta love it. Just two wholesome characters here. Gotta root for them. You can't help but root for them. But anyway, enough of that. Enough of the rambling about that. Let's get into the nitty gritty. April Fools passed a couple of days ago, and on April Fools, we thought we got duped. Okay, we got an announcement for CJI2, and I'm not talking the teams. I'm not talking about the Australian trials for the 99 kilograms and above 99 kilograms. I'm talking about a super fight matchup. And once again, I guess it's going down for real. We got Craig Jones versus Gable Steveson. Okay. Gable Steveson is probably one of the best heavyweight wrestlers for the United States. He's in the likes with Bruce Baumgartner. Yeah, that's the only other heavyweight I can really think of right now. But yeah, he's insanely talented. He's done a lot of side quests lately, such as trying to get on the Buffalo Bills team, trying to get into the WWE, and now he is making a dabble in jiu-jitsu. Okay, and this is extremely interesting matchup. Okay, first of all, there's a humongous size difference. All right. I don't think it was as big as what that tail of the tape said. I think it said Gable's 285. In wrestling, the 285 is the limit for the heavyweight weight class. I looked it up. It said Gable on the Buffalo Bills roster was 265. I don't even think he's that big yet. I think in football they inflate the numbers a little bit to give themselves a little bit of a mental advantage. I'd say he's around 245, 250 would be a safe estimate, which is still sizably bigger than Craig Jones. And it said he was 183, and I believe that is also false. I'd say Craig is probably more along the lines of 195, maybe closer to 200. But still, that is a big size gap we got going on there. Okay, guys. And so, will it be harder for Craig to leg lock Gable? Absolutely. That's going to be a hard gentleman to leg lock. Those thick tree trunks wrap around. That's going to be friggin' tough. Okay. Craig went on and made a video and said wrestling is completely nullified just by sitting down, and that is true in this rule set. But he's still going to have his hands full with this Giga Chad of a wrestler. Gable had just come off. He returned to college wrestling after taking a couple years leave of absence. He made a return, and he fell short in the NCAA finals to Wyatt Hendrickson. But I don't know. It seemed unbelievable to me. And, he might have did it. He might be playing chess, not checkers, okay? What did he get at the NCAA tournament? My man got second, okay? What does Craig Jones usually get at his tournaments? He usually gets second place, okay? Setting this up for a battle of some of the best second placers the grappling industry has ever seen to mankind, thus hyping up this matchup even further, okay? Brilliant move by Gable. Maybe he learned a lot in his wrestling days, in his professional wrestling days in WWE, and he's able to freaking, sell a match, freaking use some theatrics, okay? Wyatt Hendrickson came out with the American flag. He got in Wyatt Hendrickson's face. I mean, he freaking sold that match. If he did throw the match, okay. Now we got two second placers battling out in a super fight, making tons of money. And I think we saw Daniel Craig Kirkley in CGI #1 not do it terribly bad, and Daniel Craig Kirkley is a monster and an incredible Giga Chad wrestler, but Gable is even another level of athlete. Okay, to have dabbled in the WWE, to have dabbled in trying to make the NFL. Okay, another level of athlete. This will be very interesting. I think he'll do a little bit better in the jiu-jitsu rule sets than Daniel Craig Kirkley, and it'll be interesting. I wonder if there is a no heel hook clause, because if that is the case, Craig has done bad against non-grappling artist in a non-heel hook clause match. Okay, he lost a match against the Giga Chad Sean Brady, and so also Sean Brady lots of tattoos. Gable Steveson has lots of tattoos. Maybe the tattoos thing will come into factor, and maybe Craig's afraid of a man with a bunch of tattoos, or tattoos give men 500% more strength, then he will be unable to leg lock Gable at all. Okay, and look, how are you freaking gonna armbar that guy? All right, how are you gonna choke that thick, bulbous neck? Okay, I'm certainly interested to see how this goes. CJI rules too, so really no points at all. It's a 10-point must, 3 rounds. This will not go 3 rounds. Craig will gas and probably, just be like, if I don't get you in the first round, this is going to be your match. But yeah, if Craig sits, which I'm assuming he'll do, maybe he'll stand up and play with Gable on the feet. But that would be pretty terrible because Gable gets a takedown. That's probably an automatic win for the round if Craig does not submit him in that round. Also, CGI favors, obviously guard passing rules. You'll get the judges favor that. Pass in the guard, takedowns are awesome. But, they really heavily favor submission attempts, okay? And so be interesting to see how many submission attempts Craig will get off in a 15-minute period to see if he can actually win those rounds if there's no submission. It'll be interesting if he'll sit right away or let Gable take him down. Because if he lets Gable take him down, that might be a round won by Gable. Because I'd assume nothing much would happen. Be hard to sweep Gable. Be hard to extend a limb on him, and just a very interesting matchup all around. Anywho, Chads, a little bit of just a rambling video with my 2 cents in it today. Just covering some latest jiu-jitsu news. If you like these videos, please comment down below and let me know, and I'll do more of them. Also, if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe. The Chad army is growing. The flock of Chads are flying boisterously. We're now up to 2,000 subscribers. Thank you, Chads, for that. Thank you for your support. I greatly appreciate it. We are growing, and I'm excited. All right, I'm excited to do more cool videos in the future with maybe some high-profile guests. And thank you guys. I'll talk to you guys later.